We are live. We are live and we're recording, and I'm still here, which is fantastic. And Jess is here. So welcome everybody. Thank you, ladies, for coming on live with us. It's absolutely lovely to have you here. Welcome to anybody in the group. We are so lucky, and I'm so grateful that you've joined us. And I am very happy to hear today a little bit more about a couple of things. One, the life of a digital nomad, because that is all just makes me feel so envious. Two, Jess has been a person I met a while back, and she's just absolutely amazing. She is journeyed from being a hypnotherapist to being a coach, and combining the two, and have created something absolutely magical. And I know that everyone's going to get so much out of this. And for me, I watch you live what you teach. So that for me is amazing, because not everyone does that. So you've got a big program that you're working on, and that's going to launch in the near future. And you've got some coaching happening already called Make the Leap. And I see you do that all the time. So I am going to hand over to you. If there are any questions, ladies, just pop your hand up and we'll answer them at the end. We've got half an hour with Jess. I know she's got lots to share. So welcome, Jess, and I'm grateful. Thank you for being here. And over to you. Off you go.
I thought you were going to ask me a question, but I'm absolutely cool to talk as well. So I suppose what's up for me at the minute is that we say the digital nomad word, DN, and actually I've chosen something different for what I'm being and doing at the minute, which is location independence.
Wow.
And that is kind of a different thing. I have this idea of being a digital nomad, that you're chained to co-working spaces, beetling away at being a coach. But one of the reasons that we've chosen this life for ourselves and our daughter, who's, like I was saying to Debbie before the call started, she's a bit reluctant at the minute. It's a big change. Lizzie's on here, who's also a world schooler, so she's adjusting at the minute. But one of the things it gives us is total freedom. And I believe that's what our dreams are all about. Mostly, one thing I noticed working with clients was that, and this is clients when I was a psychotherapist. Obviously, I still use psychotherapy. I don't stop being a psychotherapist, but I've also done energy work and trance work. But one of the things I noticed about clients was that their symptoms that they came to me with all disappeared when they actually found what they really wanted to be doing, where they really wanted to be, and started doing it. And it sounds really simple, and it is, and it's also the hardest thing in the world. And to have this level of freedom that I've got now, it comes with a price tag. And I'm quite open about the fact that, like, when I first came to Montenegro, which I've just left 7 days ago, I think, I'm losing track. We first made this huge leap to leave the UK and come to Montenegro, which was really like landing on the face of the moon. And we spent that time there and ended up settling. But basically, I had this idea that I wanted to go to other countries, but I had all these stories why I couldn't do it. My husband would never agree, like he agrees with everything I say, by the way. We have that relationship. So that was an interesting one to make up. He will never agree. My daughter will never be able to deal with it. All of these things. And it just kind of happened by following the energy. But the thing is, once I had left the UK, that is when the big price comes, because you think, and I did think, when I leave, suddenly I'll be posting these pictures like digital nomads on beaches with my cocktails, palm trees in the background. And there were palm trees, but for months I felt like a phony sharing any pictures of palm trees, because it was really hard. We think when we following our dream, we get to escape everything, that all of the things that have been a problem will disappear. No. What happened for me, and what I expect to happen for everyone who works for me, is when they make choices, everything they've been avoiding looking at their entire lives comes up, and we get to deal with it. we get to actually look at it and change it so it never controls us again. And it's not the easy path, but it is the simple path. And for me, it's the only thing that works, you know. So we have the power. We don't give our power away to magical solutions, to big breaks. That's something else people working with me often are looking for, a big break or a big win, or they're going to get spotted or whatever. I mean, I still hope for that someday, but you know, sometimes I still find myself going to that, but this is not about that.
And you said something amazing there, is that making that choice is not just about stepping into your dream. It's about almost like clearing your life. It's like pulling the plug, putting the plug in, letting all the gunk come back in so you can pull the plug out and clear it and just absolutely start moving to what that dream looks like for you. And I guess that dream's creating as you go. It's not that it lands. It doesn't land with that picture that you have in your mind, because so much changes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does change. And the other thing about it is that you choose this big thing and you have this idea what it's going to look like. But what I want to say on everything comes up that's been stopping you, I think I've been dynamically pushing things away that I didn't want to look at. But the great news is when you make this choice, it's only that hard once. You know, you make one choice in one area. And actually, I'm saying this as well, like for me, it was really hard. I did it completely alone. Everything I've created from my coaching has come from the choices that I've made. Then I've worked with other people, some are on here who've worked with me. And it's like, it's all been based on reflective self-reflection and data. And it doesn't have to be as hard. And in fact, I've worked with someone today, I was just telling you, who is following this thing that I've discovered, which is really very much a structured way of leaning into things that are stopping us. And it's just amazed me, like within a week, he's changed his whole life. But he said, it's not like I've changed. It's like I have let go. I've let go of all the things that are stopping me. So whilst it was this hard for me, it isn't that hard, I'm finding, with people who do either True Grit or work with me on Make the Leap.
And I remember when we were working together, Jess and I worked together, and I remember when I looked at what we're going to share part of today with people as a gift, they'd like to choose that, is you said to me, and I was blown away, because you live what you teach, and you said, I tried this with my husband, and it was like a switch. It was like almost like, I thought of it like a whitewash, like there's the wall, whitewash it clean and it's clear now. And you'd said it worked that amazingly on yourself. So you've got the proof, you've done the proof, but you know that it works. And now it's to share that with people and for them to choose to take it on, to let it work for them as well.
Yeah, because actually it's really funny. I didn't keep in that example with my husband, but it's like, it's a strange one. It's that usually, and more clarity comes to me all the time, because things don't stand still. And I use the term system loosely for my work, because it's, you know, like what, I'm not going to learn from the people I'm working with. I learn from them every minute of every day, and I learn from myself. But it's like, what I realized is we're actually committing to the thing that we think we have to do before we can have what we want. But what the next piece I've found is the thing we're committing to is the thing that's most likely to stop us.
Wow. Yeah.
So we'll find someone, you know, like I'm saying about my husband, I was like, we were having this argument and he couldn't understand me and I couldn't understand him. And I realized I wanted, like, this whole thing about digital nomad, location independence. I wanted time to work. And I felt bad for taking away time from the family. And I know this resonates with so many women.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, that's just you, Jess. That's none of us.
I know. And so I'm like, I'm having this conversation. I'm getting more and more defensive. Like, why is he not giving me this time? He doesn't even value my work. And I sat and I did the cycle. So I did the commitment. What am I committing to here? I'm committing to him and his good opinion, not my work. Okay, then I'm trying to control him. So he gives me the answer I want to hear, like, yes, your work's wonderful. Please take all the time you need and I'll do all the babysitting you want, babysitting, childcare that you want. And then I wasn't being present with it. But when I did this cycle, I started getting present with it. And I looked at this and I realized, I want him to give me what I won't give myself. And he's
Wow.
never going to do that because
Yeah.
it's not his responsibility. So I know he's never going to do that. It's conscious, subconscious. I think it's more and more conscious these days. So then I look, okay, what do I need to do to be accountable, which is the next step? Okay, am I willing to book a co-working space and pay for that time for me and take that time away from them? Okay, and maybe be thought of, maybe he won't agree, maybe he won't get it, but no, I am going to do that. And I'm willing to be responsible, willing to be accountable for that. Even if he never sees the value of it, I'm going to see the value of it.
Yeah.
And I never did book the co-working space. That's the point. We very often don't have to, but we don't have to take the action that we are committed to. This is the crazy thing. We just have to be 100% committed to doing it. It was not necessary, actually. I talked him through the whole system and he said, will you do it on me? And we've not got round to that. I don't know whether I'll let you know. I like
Maybe
to work with people.
Don't give all your secrets away all at once, Jess. And so making the leap is actually not necessarily about having to make a change. It's about making the leap to be present with what's stopping you make the leap.
I got shivers because the guy I worked with this morning committed to one thing that we agreed. And we met and he said, well, I didn't end up committing to that. And I thought, okay, let's talk. Well, what did you commit to? He said, well, I committed to myself. I said, right,
wow.
Okay. And what did that look like? He said, I became really present with what's going on. We hadn't talked about this. It just happens when you do this and you lean into the right place, you become present, and so many different things happen to him. He didn't do any of it. He didn't use action. It happened exponentially in every area of his life. So it is about presence.
That presence, that just does everything, doesn't it? Because if you are truly have built that muscle to be present, and for me, I can say right out, I'm not present all the time, but when I find the space, it's taken me a long time to be in question and be present. And when I am, I'm like flawless, maybe not flawless, but like I'm able to be so aware of what's up for me, and I can't be rattled by someone else. So that presence is absolutely huge, really huge.
Yeah, and I think also we're very afraid of being present. Most of our lives are created, and this is normal. This is what passes as normal. Our lives are created as distractions to distract us from being present with ourselves, because we are very afraid. Each of us have mainly one deep belief that was implanted in us, that we got programmed into. That's how it works. We have this very deep belief and it controls everything. So we don't want to be present.
Because then we can avoid it. We can avoid it.
We believe it's true and we're avoiding it all our lives.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can decide whether it's true or not based on this conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's all up to you. Oh, wow. So Jess, where are your plans now? So you're now there for how long? Just as an interest of your journey.
So I'm in Ohrid, Macedonia. They call it Macedonia here. We call it Macedonia in the UK. And it's just this stunningly beautiful place.
I saw the pictures on the beach.
Yeah, the Byzantine churches. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. That was Durrës. So we were in Albania a few days ago. And Thursday, we are going to Bansko for 3 months. That's in Bulgaria. And it's a ski resort, but it's beautiful in the summer. And there's lots of other world schooling families there. We're hoping that Alona will have some people to hang out with. It feels very, very light, but we don't know any more than that. So we've got an apartment, Lizzie's apartment, who's on this call, actually. It was quite cosmic how I got that apartment. And that's how it works, things show up. And then after that, we don't know. There's some talk of Fethiye in September in Turkey. I kind of like the sound of Italy. I'm not basing that on anything, but I don't have anything stopping me from choosing anything, really.
And Jess, how do you, I hear you talking and, oh, there's someone coming.
I've got them.
Very late. Should I let
I've let them, no, I've let them in.
Okay, cool. So there's, there's that thing about, okay, I've not planned my future because you've got now 3 months and then, whatever will be. How do you, particularly you've got a kid, so what I would have done all my life is be like, okay, I'll save that for when my kids are much have to look after, exactly what you were speaking about. So how do you navigate that space of just being and knowing that it will be okay? Like, have you got to a space where you don't have that fear of defining your future anymore? Like what kind of tool or muscle, because I think that relates to all parts of our life, whether it be a job or a project or whatever it is. Like, we like to have that destination planned.
Yeah, I totally agree. It relates to every part of our life. And I just want to share that I've lived in the same town till I was 44. I'm nearly 46, less than a month now. And I've lived in the same town my whole life. I have so drastically controlled my life while looking like I'm not doing. I could never have imagined living in this way. What's changed? It really is that I discovered the true grit process. I can't put it down to anything else. When I came here, I realized nobody was going to help me here. There was no one who was going to have my back the way they would. I say the way they would at home. I'm not fully sure anyone has anyone's back. But here, when you go to another country, I really realized it wasn't going to happen. And I realized unless I did something about our situation at the time, my daughter didn't have a school, she didn't have friends. Unless I did something and made some big choices, nothing was going to change. And like for me, the English thing is sitting there waiting for someone to do something. And I think this is the thing. When we leap, we are supported. We so want a guarantee. And I suppose in some ways I am that guarantee. I am the guarantee to tell you I am doing it. I have done it. I continually do it. The people I work with do it. And without fail, we are supported. We are 100% safe, whatever we choose, as long as it's in line with our deep desires, okay, which is, what we came in with.
Yeah.
A voice that won't shut up. That's the thing to start paying some attention to. That's my biggest tip, is to start paying attention to the voice that maybe wants you to do things that don't feel safe. Like they want you to, like, realize it's really different. It doesn't matter the scale. It's not about moving countries and doing these massive things. Sometimes it's about listening to that voice that is saying, I want to be present with my child, but I can't, or something like this. Or I want to be present but with my partner, but I can't. They're all opportunities for going, okay, I really want this on some level, and leaning into it. Okay. It can also be showing up and being seen. All of those things are all an opportunity for us to actually trust it and lean into it.
And actually, you've just made me realize I went through exactly this when I left South Africa. Like, I've never seen it that way, because it happened so seamlessly, so smoothly. I could not have believed that within 6 months we had packed up, sold the house, resigned from my job. Oh my God, after 50 years, never done that in my life without knowing where I was going, taking my kids to no school. And yet, exactly what you're saying, there was just something there that's what I want. I wanted to come and live in the UK, I just did. And we didn't run away from anything, we ran to something. And I think you said something else there, which I'd love to just put in everyone's mind, is that we are that leap of faith. Because most of us on here, I certainly know for me, I will always make it work. I will always find the way to make it work. And from the people I know on here, I think that's pretty much the same. Like, we will survive.
Yeah, but you know what?
We are survivors. We are going to make it happen.
We are survivors. And, the people I work with, they're amazing at creating their lives. But there comes to a point where, how can I describe this? You just realize that all of you has not been in the same room at the same time. And that requires something different. Like I created my life, but in a lot of ways I was hiding behind Tony, my husband. I was creating my life through other people. I was very good at creating my life through other people, and I did it really well. And it's not, I wouldn't call it manipulation, but it's like I used people as a buffer zone, and I did great, and I would survive. This is like something different. This is being fully accountable, you know, and maybe that's what you're saying too. When you take that leap, you know that your foot has gone down on the floor for that step because you've chosen it. There's no kind of obfuscation or veils between you and what you're choosing. It's really direct.
It's no one else's choice. It's 100% yours. Wow.
And what happens is too.
Yeah, and that's real leadership, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, do you know, I don't know if Magdalena's hopped on, but somebody that I've worked with on True Grit, she sent me a post saying, I think your people could be reluctant leaders. And I think, yeah, there is a lot of that. We want to, but we don't want the responsibility it entails. We don't want the accountability. And I really do understand that. I have a lot of understanding of that. But really, I believe that those are the people who could be the greatest leaders, and maybe the leaders. And I use leaders because we don't have a better word.
Yeah.
But when we are leading our own life, being fully accountable, we change the world. And we can't get to control. This is not like having results and loads of people following saying you're amazing. It's about showing up every day and changing somebody's life who you talk to on the street. You know, like I was chatting to a waiter in the restaurant up there, and I talked to him about his dream, and he said, I want to be an actor, but I can't do that here. I don't know if you know what Macedonia is like. And I said, yeah, I do. And I didn't say anything to him, but I know my presence and my willingness to listen to his dream changed him on some subtle level.
Wow.
And that's what we have available to us, all of us as people. That's how we lead, you know?
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this free gift, because I think everybody just give a little intro about what this free gift looks like. I'm going to pop it in the thread here, and people are welcome to go down. I will share it with everyone that signed up, because there's a whole whack of people that couldn't make
Yeah, that's
it on,
great. And it is a
in the
gift.
group. And tell us about the gift. So access your blueprint for happiness.
Okay, so it's actually it's funny. I can't help when I do something. I give fully and I give generously. So, you know, there isn't really anything held back on this. But the cycle, I bet Debbie's like, yeah, Debbie knows.
It's too much. Don't give it all away.
Yeah, but that's you always do, and it's like that's how we work. And so I've gone through there's a video, 18-minute video of this structure and cycle, which came out of True Grit. Some of the people, I'm so grateful to you, because the Friday night coaching session, it would not have happened without that. So, you know, they're part of it, but it's the system. And I give you a video to talk you through how you can use it, how other people have used it. And then there's also a PDF booklet where it gives you really clear steps how to use this for yourself. And then I give even more, because I can't stop myself about I'm just going to add this bit about the next bit. And so there is also some clues there about how you can begin to create your life as Earth, using the creation force that already exists, not fighting it, but using it. Okay. So a video and a PDF. And it can change your life. That's what I did with my husband that night. And it totally changed my life in those moments.
For sure. And last but not least, tell us a little bit, because I'm so grateful you could come and talk to all my peeps and people. I know that this is exactly what is up their street. Just tell us a little bit about what have you got launching? What have you got coming up? What do you have on offer? Where can people find you?
Okay. So there is Make the Leap coaching, which is one-to-one. You can find me at Jessica Summers Hypnogenics. We'll make sure all the links are in there. So there's one-to-one coaching, which is based around this system, but also there will be True Grit. I think that's going to be October time. And there are different levels for you to join at. And that is just, for me, the most transformative space for me also. We all grow together. I've never known a community like it. You know, we're fast friends, and it's just that kind of space. There is no judgment in that space. And that's 28 days. And really, you need some balls to do that one. including me. I need
Someone's
them.
nodding. I think we've got some nodding heads on here.
Yeah, they're going, yep, you need balls. Cojones.
Oh, Jess, thanks so much. So I don't know if anyone has a question. We've got a couple of minutes before we need to let Jess go. But if anyone's got questions, one, you know where to find her. I'll put all the details in the group and on the email after. Does anyone have a question on now? Normally people don't, so it's fine if there isn't. And if there isn't, I just want to say I'm so grateful.
Liz knows I'm looking at her.
You got a question, Liz?
Don't type, Liz, don't type.
No, I'm just enjoying it.
I'm only
Okay.
kidding.
Oh, wow. Oh, Jess, thanks so much. Is there anything you'd like to leave everybody with?
Yes, I would just like to say that being happy, effective, and totally fulfilled is our birthright. It's really simple, it's possible, and it's what we're made for, you know. And I say people like us, and you know, I know you guys on here are like this. It's like life has been so hard, and it really doesn't have to be. And yeah, that's what I want people to take away.
Oh, wow, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. And I hope we will see you all somewhere soon. And I know I will see you soon. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Thanks everyone. Thanks friends for coming.
Thanks so much. Bye everybody.